Nijun, obviously a lot of the minerals we're talking about are needed for batteries. Just give me a sense of, what you see in terms of some of the evolving dynamics in the material value chain for clean energy technologies such as batteries.
From our viewpoint, we've seen two major dynamics going on. First dynamic is really the surge in the price of the raw material. I think those are mainly caused by, one is increasing the EV penetration into the market, and secondly, the disruption in the supply due to the COVID over the last several years, and thirdly, because some speculations, people think they will continue, there will be shortage of raw materials. All the three factors combined have driven the lithium, the raw material price really more than tenfold actually. 3 years ago, probably a ton of lithium, probably it's on the range of 30,000 to 50,000 RMB here. But now, the highest probably went to above 60,000. No, 600,000. So that's really outrageous increase. But when we look
I'm just curious, do you see markets responding to that? The best cure for high prices is high prices. Lithium prices go up, and everybody goes to work and looks for more, and the market sorts this out, or
the
not?
The people who speculate, they not only try to expand, they try to hold on to their supply. They artificially create a shortage. As a result, the prices will continue. So, of course, the market reacted to that. And as the price go up and the demand for EV products start to slow down, and people see the demand is actually not that dramatic. When we look at the prediction for the raw material, based on the Bloomberg's energy future prediction, by 2040, and people think in the EV market, they probably will reach 4.5 terawatts. We already talk about the terawatt hours, not gigawatt hours. So that's tremendous in terms of the, and also for the, if you consider energy storage system, ESS, that add another 1 to 2 terawatt hours. So people think, wow, if you calculate the amount of lithium required to supply this demand, will be tremendous. But we calculate the reserve actually far more than that. Based on the lithium, probably we can currently discovered reserve already can supply 160 terawatt hours. But that's not a part of it. We don't believe that raw material is a bottleneck because the technology innovation continuously try to find a new ways to extract it. So we actually start to extract the lithium from the ceramic clay, from the low grade, not like traditional, people talk about high grade lithium extraction, but even that, just like oil, people have been talking about we run out of oil in 10 years, or we'll continue to see that happen. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
Another thing is people looking at, because of technology innovation, we actually see alternative to lithium. For example, CATL, in 2021, we announced the sodium-ion battery. Of course, there's a vast amount of reserve worldwide for sodium. Okay, also sodium as an alternative offers a better performance in temperature sensitivity, low temperature performance, and the price is also very attractive. So that's one dynamic we've seen. The second dynamic we've seen, the entire battery industry, many companies are driving for a cleaner raw material production. So because we are in the business, for example, CATL, our vision is to contribute to the humankind's transition from the fossil fuel-based energy economy to maybe renewable, clean, green, sustainable. Because we are in that business, so the entire value chain, people start, we can see people start to do many things. For example, in CATL, we try not only use green energy, but try to use less and use it smartly. So we do internally try to use technology innovation, R&D investment, try to cut down our energy consumption and also emission reduction. So those efforts have been, we've seen as a result, we also invest heavily on recycling. We talk about circular economy. In fact, our current technology, as of today, for nickel, cobalt, magnesium, we can recycle up to 99.3%. And even for lithium, we can also recycle up to 92%. And also for graphite, we've seen the trend will continue. People see, because if you extract the lithium from raw mine, you talk about 2%, that's considered as a very high-grade mine. But when we do recycling, it's much higher. So we think this is a mine in urban city. So recycling, it's high-tech. Recycling is not just burn and bury. It is a high-tech. How do you produce the high-quality, reusable material, consume less energy, produce no or low pollution? So those are the challenges. So CATL, we see response to these two dynamics. I think the industry is moving in the right direction.
How big a role technology advancements can play? The International Energy Agency, for example, I think finds in their net zero 2050 scenario about 10% of the growth in critical minerals demand can be met by recycling.
Yes.
So 10% is a meaningful number, but it's not 50, it's not 80. So what do you see in the technological advancements around recycling, and also in how battery chemistry might evolve that could change what minerals we think we need? Professor Ni, do you want to comment on how the...
I do fully believe the power of technology innovation and R&D investment in reducing the dependency of the raw materials. Because we've seen several things, several trends in our industry. One is increased energy density, better utilization of the material, efficiency from the design point of view, from the engineering, from the production, and we try to increase the yield. That's one. Secondly, the reduction in the cost of the entire vehicle and the cell of the batteries. So those are the examples. But for example, I can use few recent examples. Right now, this year in the auto show in Shanghai, we announced that we have produced 500 watt-hour per kilogram. That's really high in terms of energy density, because that's really already one step closer to even aviation application. Because you have such a small volume, but yet produce such a high power. That is amazing. Another example, this year, actually it should be end of last year, we announced this Qilin battery technology. In fact, it was rated by Times Magazine as an innovation of 2022. Gives you 1,000 kilometers by one full charge. Okay, those means the technology innovation. You can design the product smartly and use less for more output. So those are the example. Another point I want to make, when we are entering new energy phase. I call the existing energy old energy, and now we're entering new energy. In the old energy, basically it's a resource-dependent energy paradigm, right? You have oil, you have a gas, you have a coal, you burn it. It's non-renewable, it's non-recyclable. The new energy is a manufacturing-enabled energy, like solar, wind, battery, even nuclear plant. And its manufacturing technology allows us to harvest from the sun, from the wind. And I think that makes us depend less on the raw material, because it's renewable. We can recycle the battery. Like I said, 99.3% nickel, cobalt, magnesium can be recycled, reused. But oil, once you burn, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that makes us hopeful as a humankind.
So question for Mr. Ni Jun, as 2 points you raised are very interesting. You mentioned there are big potential for recycling, and Benedict also mentioned this battery passport. Both of these are actually specified in the new EU's Battery and Recycling Act. Some in China would think this would be an obstacle or disadvantage for Chinese companies. Do you think it would be case, or it is the case that some Chinese companies might be in a better position to comply with the requirements of that? And you also mentioned a sodium-ion battery have great potential, as well as Qilin battery. Capital markets reception for these two haven't been that good. Do you think capital markets are looking too short-term, or it's the sentiment of the time? Thanks.
Good questions. I'll pass it over there. Yeah.
Okay, let me try to address the question. First of all, I think when the capital market, when they look at, I do believe they have very near term. My advice is wait and see, because for example, this year in the Shanghai Automotive Show, we not only announced the Qilin 1,000 kilometer, we also announced the 4C fast charging solution, and it's coming in the fall. You'll see in the market. When the vehicle rolls out, maybe the capital investment people start realize, wow, we should purchase that stock much earlier. But anyway, this is a side story. Back into your question, when Europe or other countries set up, as long as they are uniformly applied to all players, that's why in US we say fair playing field, right? If everybody applied to the same standard, regardless where's the origin, then I think for the whole world community, that's a good thing to have a higher standard, have a better control of the mining, the mineral processing, all the value chain. I think we really support. That requires the continuous innovation to bring down the material. For example, like you said, over the last 8 years, our energy density more than tripled, sometimes quadrupled. And also the price have come down 80%. Without this effort, I don't believe that we talk about EV, no EV.
Thank you, Professor, and thank you all for sharing. I'm a journalist from TMA, a Chinese news agency, and you have discussed extensively about the supply chain issues of the criminal minerals. So my question is focusing on the demand perspectives in the short term, and there are concerns in China within industry regarding the potential overcapacity in the power batteries. And so my question is specifically for Mr. Nijun from CATL. How does CATL view this issue, and will this issue lead to the significant decline of lithium prices in the following days? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is a very interesting question. That's what the speculation. Sometimes when they see the lithium price going up, they want to invest. And when they see the EV market is start to grow, people invest capacity. But I would have to say, EV battery, also including the energy storage battery, they are different animal than your consumer iPhone or so it's different animal. And we have to really be cautious on the safety, the high quality. I like Bennett's question. Let's reach for the top, not reach for the bottom. Because many of the capacity, overcapacity, people think, oh, I have money, I can do it. Buy a piece of land, build a factory, put the production. The consequence of producing low quality battery is more damaging to the industry. Because you not only hurt the consumers' safety, but also for the industry. You waste the mineral, you waste the opportunity. So I think I see, if I were investor, I look at the high quality. I think the lithium-ion industry need like pharmaceutical industries, for example. In the pharmaceutical industry, we have a GMP, good manufacturing practice, worldwide. If you want to produce a drug or medical device, you better certify it. I think for the lithium-ion battery industry, we need the same global standard. Otherwise, we have many of the low quality, they think they invest a little money, they can produce a pack and sell to the market. Then we have all the problem we see in the market. That's what I think eventually the market will correct itself.
There's a question behind me and then one behind you, but we'll go here first.
Information. Two questions. One is, where do you see LFP technology evolve, considering you've launched a sodium-ion battery with very high density? And the second question, the CATL...
Question for me?
Yes.
Okay, what is LFP? What is the question?
How do you see the LFP technology evolve, considering you've put in sodium ion, you've released a new battery with sodium, very high density sodium ion. You see that LFP will phase down and sodium will take over, or any other technology? And the second question is, what is your perspective on solid state?
Yes, the first question, in view of the LFP with the sodium new type of material electrochemistry, I think for different application, there's different uniquely required battery. For certain application, LFP is a primary, I think, a winner in my personal view. But for other applications, even NCM, and they have their own unique performance and unique characteristics. But for sodium-ion battery, for other, because their energy density cannot compare with FFP and NCM, but they are thermal stability, they are low temperature performance, and the price advantage, also plenty of supply of raw material is unique. Maybe for energy storage application, it's not so sensitive to the energy density. Maybe that'd be good alternatives. Your second question regarding the solid state, people have been research worldwide. If you find the energy-related journal, technical journal, there's thousands of papers, people publishing, try to really crack the solid-state battery. People talking about, oh, it's coming soon. Have we seen that yet? Personally, I see probably still many of the technical challenges have not been resolved yet. So industrialization, I think, is still 5-10 years.
Yeah, please.
I'm coming from Germany, and so we are very critical there. The question wasn't mentioned. Do you see the possibility, because of those many batteries for buses, not only for cars, for buses, for trains, they believe that if everything would be made which they want to make, these battery raw materials would not really reach very long. So they believe that in shorter time that would be not sufficient, number one. Number two, they see that
we don't have enough material. That's what you mean? The first question.
There is not enough material for what is planned. And then the second is that they should start today with the recycling, because it will be a catastrophe to have all the batteries later on to be recycled or try to recycle it, and will be very expensive. And this should be calculated into the price. And the third one is that for the electrical cars, especially in Germany, together with the new requirements for electricity as well for IT and everything, the electricity would not be enough to really load all the batteries which are then in the cars, and to really make use of what we want to see as green technology.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question sort of comes to where I started, which is just understanding the scale, right? So can we grow these supply chains quickly enough? And then, of course, can we generate enough electricity and make sure it is zero carbon? I don't know, how do people, would anyone want to comment on the concern that we just...
Maybe let me comment on the concern regarding recycling. And CATL, we funded recycling. We are now the largest battery recycling in the world. And we believe recycling is a must. Otherwise, when the vehicle retire, what do you do with the large mass? It's polluting the soil. It's difficult, dangerous, and can be explosive. So recycling must be a part of the whole solution. But the battery alone does not solve our green energy issue. It doesn't generate energy. It's a store energy. So we need to go renewable, like solar, wind, hydroelectric, and biofuel, or even, in my view, nuclear power plant should be considered. Because in Europe, I understand there's a disagreement. France and Romania and a few other countries believe nuclear power is a clean energy. But Germany and others probably still do not agree. Personally, I believe that if we can solve the safety problem, nuclear power is the cleanest if you look at life cycle, cleaner than solar, cleaner than wind, and cleaner others. But so after we combine those with a battery, then we probably have a better future.
We have time for one more question. The woman back there.
Oh, thank you. I'm a reporter from China Daily. My question goes to Mr. Niju from CATL. Currently, there are an increasing number of Chinese lithium companies which expand their global footprint. So what is the next goal, or what is the next step for CATL in terms of overseas production? Thank you.
CATL, even though it started in China, but we view ourselves as a global company because our company's vision statement state we are trying to help humankind to transition to a new sustainable energy era. So we do not view ourselves just to produce in China. We actually we invest heavily in Europe. We have production in Germany. We are building up our factory in Hungary, and we are considering other alternatives. And even in North America, we are working with our partners, and also we have plans to invest in Asia as well. Because this is we only have one planet, as I said. Let's do things for the whole planet. So CATL is aggressively considering global market and global. We are finding global partners as well. For example, in the recycling business, we are talking to a European partner. I cannot tell who. But we are looking at setting up recycling sites, not just one, but sites in Europe. We're also looking for partners in North America, because that's a way to go. The circular economy need to do it locally.